Hi there, in today's video we're going to be going over the cosine rule sides and angle check from your previous lesson. So at the top of my screen you'll see we've got two formulas that are both for the cosine rule. Okay, so the first one being the a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a, and that is we use that for finding a side. Okay, so that's the one when we have got a missing side. Okay, if we have a missing angle, then we're going to use the cosine rule for that, which is cos A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared, all divided by 2bc, and that's what we'll use for a missing angle. Okay, so we're going to look at each couple of questions and use the formula to do it. Remembering first, every time we start a question, we'll label our question. Okay, so without labeling the question, we won't be able to fill in our data effectively. So the first question, okay, I've got this triangle here, x 12 and 10 centimeters with an angle at 72 degrees, and our job's to work out the length of x. Okay, so first of all we label our sides. So for example, after A, opposite angle A is side A, opposite side A angle B is side B, opposite angle C is small c, length C. So I'm finding x, which is actually a, so that's good. That means I don't even need to change my formula. So a squared will equal b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of a. What we're going to do is we're filling our numbers now. So lowercase is our sizes. So that's going to be 12 squared plus 10 squared minus, now at this point put your brackets in, 2 times 12 times 10 times cos of my angle at A, which is 72 degrees. Therefore, if we solve them, okay, so I get the answer. If I put that into a calculator, I get the answer 169.8359 and so on. Okay, so that is what I found for a squared. To work out a, we take the square root of this, so don't round at this point, okay, because you want to get your answer exact as best you can. So it'll be the square root of what I got on my calculator. That gives me 13.0321, and if I round that, I get 13.03 centimeters. Okay, so using the cosine rule there, I've worked out that the length of A, which was x, was 13.03 centimeters. Okay, we'll look at the second example. So again, we're going to label a triangle. So like we've done before, opposite the angles is our lengths. So that's going to be C over there, and we've got B down there. So again, I'm finding x, which is A, that's handy, I don't need to change my formula. And you always start by writing the formula down. Now we put our numbers in, so A squared is going to equal B squared, this times 18 squared, plus C squared, which is 20 squared, minus 2 times 18 times 20 times cos of the angle A, which is 68 degrees. Okay. Make sure you put that in your calculator using brackets, folks, okay? Therefore, doing that properly, you should get the answer coming out as 454.283. Continued. Take the square root to get the length of A, and you should get 21.3139 continued. So A equals 21.31, and our lengths were in millimeters for that question. Okay, so there's two examples or two questions you have to do using the cosine formula for finding an angle. Okay, finding a side, sorry. Now we're going to look at two questions where we're going to use the angle formula. You're going to see there's something quite drastic happens with the first one, okay, and a lot of you had feedback given to you where you might think it's weird how you didn't quite get the final answer right, and I'll explain how that was. So again, label our triangle, which we've had plenty of practice at now, and our job is to find the angle at A. So that means again I don't need to change my formula, that's quite good. So cos A equals, it's going to be B squared, remember it's B squared plus C squared, take away the length of A squared, over 2BC. Okay, so cos of A equals, put your numbers in, it's going to be 15 squared plus 14 squared minus 22 squared, all over 2 times B, which is 15, times by 14, which was C. And if you put that into your calculator, you get the answer negative 0.15, which isn't correct, that is the right answer. So what we do is we want to work out what A is. So we do the cos inverse of 0.15 and I get 98.6269, which equals 98.63 degrees. Now, a lot of you left your final answer at that, and naturally so, because you feel that you found your angle. Let me just show you back to the question. That question there is wanting us to find an acute angle x. Our answer, 98.63, that's in the obtuse side, and there's a reason for it. When you answer for cos A and you have a negative, so at this point here, we have cos A of a negative number, then it's going to find us the obtuse angle for that, as opposed to find us the acute angle. In order to find the acute angle, x, what we do at this point is we need to subtract it off 180 degrees, which would leave us with 81.37 degrees. Okay. Alternatively, when you see further on in the course that we don't actually use a negative in our calculator, it just tells us where our answers lie. Okay, that's part of the trig equations chapter. Then if you done the cos inverse of 0.15, you would have got 81.37. Okay, so when it's negative, and if you're using the cosine rule, it's going to find you the obtuse one. We want the acute one. Okay, so that's just why there was a bit extra to that question. Okay, we'll do the last one. Okay, so again, label a triangle. Always do that. Again, we want to find the angle A, so we don't need to rewrite our formula using different letters or rearranged. We can just go straight for it. So B this time is going to be 18 squared plus 19 squared minus 14 squared, all divided by 2 times 18 times 19. Okay, and this time round, cos A will be 0.7149 continued. Okay, so again, A will equal cos inverse of 0.7149. This will find us the acute one because our answer here isn't negative. Therefore, the angle at A, 44.3639. If you round that, 44.36 degrees. Okay, so there's 4 questions that you are asked to try. There's the solutions for them. Please have a watch of this video, take a note of the answers if you didn't quite manage to get them, and try and see if where you could improve for next time. And also make sure that you're following the steps in the working, as that way it will maximise your marks in a test. Okay, thank you.